Hello, everybody, and welcome to my fourth art talk, mini art talk. I'm glad you're joining me. Now, for the first three, I did some very famous paintings, one from the Dutch Golden Age, one from the Renaissance, and one early modernist painting. But today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you a painting that you've probably never seen unless you came to one of my art talks, about an artist that you may never have heard of, Florine Stettheimer. And I didn't know about Florine either until the Jewish Museum in New York had an exhibition of her work that I went to, and I did some research and put together a talk that I did locally. So I thought I would talk about one of her paintings for you today because I really like it so much. So let me tell you a little bit about Florine Stettheimer. She was born in 1871 and she died in 1944. And this is a rare picture of her. She did not like having her picture taken. So there are only a few, and I just want you to notice the outfit that she's wearing because in the painting I'm going to show you, she paints herself in a very similar outfit. Now she was a German Jewish artist who lived in New York. She was raised for for a few years in Europe, where her mother took her and her two sisters. Um, but then they came back to New York before World War I broke out, and she was really the quintessential New York personality. Even though she and her two sisters lived with their mother and none of them ever got married, they were still very social. They had parties all the time. They had a salon and they hosted all kinds of people, artists and writers and musicians from the New York art scene. And also, this was mostly in the 20s, the roaring 20s and into the 30s. And Florine also hobnobbed with lots of gay people and lots of African American people. And this was at a time when homosexuality was still illegal in the United States and when Jim Crow and the KKK were rife throughout America. So the fact that she was quite wealthy, so this very privileged white woman in New York was really flouting a lot of convention to be with people that she wanted to be with, and that stimulated her imagination. So now I'm going to show you the painting that I'm going to talk about, and it's this one. I'm going to make myself a little smaller here so that you can see the images. The image, it is called La Fête à Duchamp, the party for Duchamp, and that Duchamp is Marcel Duchamp. And it was made in 1917, and it's in a private collection. So let's go to the image. So one of the wonderful things about this painting and why I think it's so unusual and important is that she's telling a story here, and she's combining different times of day and different activities by the same people, all in one tableau here, in one composition. And she did not invent this idea. Renaissance artists did this a lot. You might have had a painting with Christ and he appears in the painting several times doing different things. Um, but it was a little bit unusual for the time that she was painting to do that kind of thing. And so I'm going to go through what's happening in this painting, and you'll also see, of course, the wonderful colors here. You can see she's doing a little bit of a Fauvist thing here with a blue tree and orange trees. And the colors are just so bright and glorious and draw us into the painting and make us want to find out who are all these people and what are they doing. They're obviously having such a good time. But remember, this is Marcel Duchamp's birthday party. It's his 30th birthday in July of 1917. So let's make some of these things a little bit bigger so we can see. So up here in the upper left, here's Marcel, and he's arriving at the party. He's being driven in this snazzy little red sports car by Francis Picabia, also another painter. And then down here in this part of the painting, you see, actually, she's told us this is exactly the 28th of July, 1917. That's when they had the party. And here he is. This is Duchamp, and this is Picabia, and they're coming into the backyard of Florine's house, summer home at Andre Brook in Tarrytown, New York. And they're walking in and they're being greeted by Florine. And here she is. Remember, I told you about her dress. So there she is. And Florine is getting ready to greet them. Now, after Picabia comes in, Marcel comes over here. You don't see him except for his leg, but he's sitting here on this little swing with Fanya Marinoff, who is an actress, and the wife of Carl van Vechten, who's also in this painting. I'll show you him in a minute. But Picabia goes over here. You see, here's Picabia, and here he is. And he is laying down on his stomach and chatting with the French writer Henri Pierre Rocher, who is right here. So moving on also, we're going to now see Florine's sister, Eddie. Here's her sister, Eddie. Now, Eddie is reading a book, and that's very appropriate because Eddie was the smart sister. She actually got a PhD and wrote several books. And there she is, and she's kind of ignoring this gentleman. This is the same person. He's here twice. She's showing you that he's really making a play here for Eddie, who seems to kind of be ignoring him. And this is Leo Stein, Gertrude Stein's brother, who was kind of infatuated with Eddie. And you see he's holding up his hands to his ears, and that's because at this point in his life, Leo was a little bit hard of hearing. So kind of in a cruel way, a little bit, Florine is showing us that here. Now, also in this painting over here in the middle, this is Carl van Vechten. He is Fanya's husband, and he was a very famous artist and critic and writer. He was also known for being infatuated with African-American culture. He was very friendly with everybody in the Harlem Renaissance, from W.E.B. Du Bois to Langston Hughes to Aaron Douglas to all the artists and writers and musicians and painters. And here he is sitting here, and he's sitting with Elizabeth Duncan. And Elizabeth Duncan is Isadora Duncan's sister. And there they are. They're all at Florine's party. Now here is Carrie Stettheimer, also Florine's sister. And Carrie was the sister who managed the household and took care to make sure that all of the guests were happy. So here they are. Here she is pouring tea for the Marquis de Buena Vista, who was the Peruvian ambassador to the United States at that time. So you can see that they hosted lots of different kinds of people, interesting people that flocked to their house for all of their parties and their salons, because there was so much interesting talk and activity happening. Now, let me just move myself down here so I can show you this part of the painting. Here we have now it's nighttime. Night has fallen. We see that it's night. You see the lights that are strung across. And all of the same people that we saw on the bottom of the painting are up here now. And here's Eddie, Florine's sister, and she's toasting Marcel. It's his birthday, and here's Marcel here at the other end of the table. And here's Florine. We can see her dress here. And here are all of the other people, Carrie and the other people who were in the painting. So Florine has just given us this beautiful scene of people relaxing and having fun and talking to each other and enjoying themselves. And this painting was exhibited in 1918 at an exhibition, and it was reviewed by the critic Henry McBride, who was a very famous critic at the time. And he wrote in the New York Sun in April of 1918 about this painting. And one of the he liked it very much, and he wrote very favorably about it. But one of the things he said in the review was, "The more I think of it, the more I'm miffed that I wasn't asked to that party." And that's exactly how Florine has made all of us feel. We wish we could be there with all of these interesting people and wonderful food and wonderful company on a beautiful summer day in 1917 at Marcel Duchamp's 30th birthday party. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you continue to come back and hear my talks. I've enjoyed doing them so much. And I hope you've enjoyed them too. I encourage you to go online and look up Florine and look at some of her other paintings, because I think she's really such a fabulous artist. So until next time, I'm going to say goodbye, and I hope that you come back and see me next time, either on Facebook or on YouTube, where I'm now uploading these videos for your enjoyment. Thanks a lot. Stay safe, stay indoors, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.